What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about Fortnite's upcoming OG game mode and some changes or aspects of it that Fortnite has recently confirmed. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the OG game mode coming to Fortnite. So, if you guys were unaware, Fortnite has confirmed that there will be an OG Chapter 1 game mode coming back on December 6th. And this should be a somewhat permanent mode, I think. Like, it's going to cycle through several Chapter 1 seasons. I think the assumption at the moment is that each season will get a month long. So there will be 1 month for Season 1 and then Season 2. And then so on and so forth. But I don't think that timeline has been confirmed yet. And it's more of just an assumption. But either way, it's going to go through several Chapter 1 seasons over the course of time, right? This is not a replacement for Chapter 6. This will be its own game mode. And that is something that I've also seen a lot of confusion about online, where I've seen players talk about how they hated Chapter 2 Remix, and then now instead of Chapter 6, we're just getting Chapter 1 again. That is not the case. The Chapter 1 game mode will be a game mode independent of Battle Royale in Chapter 6. Think of it like how we had Rocket Racing, Lego, and Festival, and then now Reload during the course of Chapter 5. But Chapter 5 Battle Royale was still its own thing, despite those game modes existing. That's kind of how this Chapter 1 thing would be. It's its own game mode. It's not replacing Chapter 6. Yesterday, Fortnite confirmed that Double Pump will be returning in the OG game mode. And this is a very big deal, not only because of Double Pump itself, but it kind of gives you a bit of insight of, how this OG game mode will potentially be handled. If you guys don't know what Double Pump is or weren't around back then, in the early days, you could shoot a pump shotgun, swap to another pump shotgun and shoot it right away, and then swap back to your first pump shotgun and basically just alternate between pumps, shooting out shot after shot after shot. You got around the fire rate disadvantage of the pump by using two of them. And players would argue that this takes a decent amount of skill because you need to, have swapping down to like constantly time it right and constantly be going back and forth between your pumps, and then also constantly hitting your shots. And I think there is an aspect of that is true, but eventually this was removed from the game in Chapter 1 Season 5. And then there was a 1.5 second delay added between pump shots if you switch from a pump shotgun to another pump shotgun after firing. And that's how it's been ever since Chapter 1 Season 5, which is around like summer 2018. So if you try to do this right now in Battle Royale, it doesn't work. And in Chapter 6 Battle Royale, it's seemingly not going to work either. It seems like this is going to exclusively be in the OG game mode that they're bringing back Double Pump. And I think that's interesting. But I think what's most interesting about that is what it says about the game mode itself. Leakers have also posted that the original burst rifle will be returning, and I don't think this has been in the game since Chapter 1. And then the wall electric trap, which also hasn't been seen since very early Chapter 1, will also be returning. Those two items are leaks and rumors. The double pump thing is confirmed by Fortnite. And the reason why I said I think that the fact that they're adding this is more interesting to me than like the actual gameplay element is it shows that they're kind of trying to make this game mode more true to how Chapter 1 actually was than the OG season we had last year or remix, this year. With the OG season last year, there was POIs that were the same and there was aspects of the loot pool that was the same, but it was very different, and they clearly, weren't bringing back old mechanics or rebalancing the items how they actually were in Chapter 1. And I think with them bringing back Double Pump, it kind of goes to show that maybe they are willing to go above and beyond and make this as true to Chapter 1 as they actually could. And I think that could be a good thing. I think that is something that a lot of players would be interested in. And like if you had, especially for returning players, there's a lot of people who quit the game years ago that would be more interested in this Chapter 1 game mode than anything else. And I feel like that is kind of the primary community this game mode is trying to serve. And so having it true to back then is a good thing to an extent. But I also think it's a very bad thing if they go too far with it. And they have to like get this balance correct, I think, because if they actually made it like how Season 1 of Chapter 1 was, I think the game mode will die very quickly. And if they're going to be going through Chapter 1 seasons, you'd think they would start at Season 1, right? Maybe Season 2. But if they start at Season 1, I don't think that is a version of the game that a lot of people will enjoy at all. Like, let's say they make it exactly true to how the game was back then. There was no first shot accuracy back then. The guns had even more bloom than they have now. Like, now there's bloom in the game if you guys play Chapter 2 Remix, right? And the ARs are decently inaccurate. It used to be way worse. There was a shooting test update where they kind of remodeled the shooting style of the game. And in that update, they added first shot accuracy. So if you stand still and don't shoot for a while, your guns will be perfectly accurate. But they also just reduced the total amount of bloom as is. When the game first came out, there was no first shot accuracy at all. And the guns were way more inaccurate than they are now. And even now, people consider the guns to be way too inaccurate when we get these old ARs back in the game, right? But on top of that, the headshot multipliers were also insane. Like, a lot of the ARs, I think the Gold Scar would headshot for like 97. I believe the common AR was headshotting for like 80 something. So the guns were more inaccurate, but also rewarded headshots way more. So it made the game very luck based at the time as far as ARs go. And that's just one aspect of the game, right? So the ARs were more random, but also more rewarding. So if you did get lucky and hit a headshot, it was going to turn the tide of the fight, right? But also those pump shotguns we talked about and being able to use 2 of them at a time, they could headshot for over 200, right? There was only 2 pumps in the game. I think the gray, I think it was gray and green in Season 1, but it might have been green and blue. They kind of alternated this around from time to time. But either way, even the lower rarity of pump could one hit to the head. And so you're cycling 2 of these weapons back to back, both of which have the chance to deal over 200 damage. But also in Season 1, the pumps had like infinite range. So you could hit somebody for 200 across the map with those pumps. I don't know if they would hit for 200 across the map, but there was a period in time where the pumps had basically infinite range and people would call them the sniper pumps. And so that was an aspect of the game that was also broken and that I don't think modern players would really enjoy, or even people who quit the game a long time ago would enjoy. Also, the pacing of the game was rough. There wasn't really any mobility at all in Season 1. We didn't have things like sprinting and mantling. Shield was also quite bad. Whenever we've had these OG seasons come back, everyone is complaining about the shield spawn rate. Actual Season 1 spawn rate of shield was much worse because there wasn't even minis in the game. The only shield in the game was big pots. So you had to find 2 big pots to be full shield, right? And then hopefully you find even more big pots to be able to carry some and, you know, re-shield up after a fight. But it wasn't uncommon to just play and not have extra shield back then, or not even be full health. If you were full health and had extra shield, you felt like you were winning that game. So like the pacing of the game, I just don't think modern audiences would really like. Even people who quit the game a long time ago, if they go back to actual Season 1 gameplay, I really don't think that's going to be good for the game, and I think the mode is going to die. Future seasons would fix some of these problems and improve upon that, but if they go true to actual Season 1 on launch, I think there's going to be a lot of hype for the game mode, and then it's going to die relatively quickly. I think bringing back something like double pump is exciting for a lot of players, but if they go too far in making it 100% as Season 1 was, I don't think this game mode is going to last. Even if future seasons do improve upon it, it's just like that opening launch and the first impression people have with the mode needs to be good, and it needs to be enjoyable for people to like stick around and keep playing it. But yeah, that is just what I wanted to talk about. You know, the fact that double pump is returning is exciting, but I think if they go too far with making this true to Season 1, which sounds like a good thing, a lot of people would consider that to be a good thing, but I think Season 1 is not something that is good and people remember way too fondly compared to how it actually was. Another thing I want to talk about is going to be old battle passes. There's been, when the OG game mode first got announced, there was people hyping it and being like, oh, they're going to bring back old battle passes because technically we're going back to that season. That is not happening. The old battle passes are not returning. They are making something new called an OG pass, and I think it will be akin, somewhat similar to the festival pass or the Lego pass, where it's much smaller than a regular battle pass, but it is still something to, you know, level up and unlock things. Probably will have remixes or rehashes of old skins. Like maybe they make something that looks like Renegade Raider or looks like the Black Knight, but I don't think those skins are actually coming back, the original versions of them or those old battle passes. But that is going to be it for this video. I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on the Chapter 1 game mode because I haven't yet. Personally, I'm not really that interested in it. Chapter 1 was when I enjoyed the game the most, but I think a lot of that had to do with the game being new, the genre being new to me, and then like the entire community of the game being new, and it like Fortnite was just a very exciting game at the time. Like I loved that time in the game, but going back to the actual launch version of Fortnite, I don't think would be something that a lot of people want to play. I do think this mode will be successful and will kind of have its own audience of players, but I'm definitely looking more forward to Chapter 6 VR than I am the OG game mode that they're making. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you excited for this? Are you excited for Double Pump to return? If you enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.